Hi everyone! We're your MCs for this wonderful flag-raising ceremony organized by India Association of Greater Boston, Acton Indian Americans, and our key organizer of this event, Sahana Purohit.
Before we kick this off, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Adi Goyal, and I'm a rising sophomore at Acton Boxford Regional High School. I've had the pleasure of staying close to my Indian community even though I live far away. Something cool about me is that I've been learning Kathak since the age of 4.
And I'm Dia Prakash, a rising 8th grader at RJ Gray Middle School. One fun fact about me is that I helped paint the town mural.
So, what is the importance of this event? Well, let's take it back to August 15, 1947, the day that India got its independence. We're convening here to celebrate this meaningful event in time of India's freedom from colonial dominance.
That's right. Celebrating this event helps us remember the times full of hardships and bravery that signify when India fought for freedom. Today, I am so honored to celebrate this event with you and my Babaji and Dadima, who are visiting all the way from India.
I think it's time to start off the event now, don't you, Dia?
I agree. To start off, I would like to invite the IAGB president, Tanu Phoenix.
Thank you so much. And so special when you have grandparents watching. That's very special. Welcome everybody. And can I have my team IAGB with me here as well? Human values are virtues that guide us to take into account the human element where we interact with other human beings. Human values such as respect, acceptance, empathy, and love towards other human beings. When we talk about Indian values, we expect that it comprises the basic human values, but it is unique. It bears the essence of the country we originate from, and that is India. It's exhibited through its culture, heritage, and socio-political behavior. We embraced US as our beloved country, and we call it our home. India is a vast country with diverse cultures, history, landscapes, religion, and cuisines. There are 121 languages spoken broadly, with 19,500 dialects in India. So Indianness is very hard to define and difficult to express to people who do not have roots in India. Therefore, I think to stay true to our Indian values, we must have an open mind to give and take, mingle and mingled in with the larger mainstream that we are living in the current time. While we should be rooted to our cultures of diverse religions and regions with oneness in mind, we should embrace our surrounding cultures here as well. When we talk about staying true to our Indian values in the US, we must remember to define our values. The whole world today has come closer with advancement in technology in the 20th and the 21st century. Let our Indian values, culture, and heritage be enriched by giving and taking, mingling and being mingled in with the society at large. The motto of Indian culture is one nation, unity in diversity. We must open our hearts to positive energy that will strengthen our cultural identity that nobody can shake from us. Come, let us raise our vibe by owning our roots and embracing our leaves and the stem. This year, I am so privileged to see this wonderful gathering yet again, 5th year in a row. Give it up for the town of Acton and the Indian Americans of Acton and surrounding towns, neighboring towns. Jamie, Eldridge, Cataldo. Simon, where are you? There you are. You took your coat off. I couldn't tell. and of course, Rep. Sena, who's not here, but he always supports. I know he is here virtually as well. And of course, my wonderful, dearest friend, Sahana Purohit, for unconditionally supporting and collaborating with IAGB year after year, 5th year in a row, Jamie, that we are doing it here, and it warms my heart that we are able to do it year after year. And and trust me, truth be told, whenever I reach out every year, I have to start from scratch because of the approval process and everything. I start with the example of Acton. We do it in Acton, this is how we do it, and then thereon I start. So thank you everybody, and welcome to the event today, and I look forward to a wonderful program which I know Sahana has beautifully weaved. Before that, let me just go and give it away to the two beautiful girls that are hosting and emceeing today's program. Over to you. And I also want to come back and give a special recognition to the town of Acton, but I'll seek Sahana's permission for that. So it's my pleasure, by the way. On my left, starting out from my left, I just want to take the moment to introduce my team. I have a team of 12, all of whom could not make it today, but the ones who did and the others who are here virtually. Let's start with Lohit Nagraj, Asha Totangade, on my right, Anaga Singh, and Vijendra Bhargava, and I'm Tanu Phoenix, President of IAGB. Thank you.
Thank you for those wonderful words, Tanu, and for joining us here today. Hey Dia, did you know that the original Indian flag is different than the one we use right now?
Wait, really? What's different?
Well, the first flag, designed by Sister Navdita in 1904, had the dual colors of yellow and red, with the symbol of Vajra, a weapon of Lord Indra, in the middle.
I think I remember something about this. The colors of red and yellow stood for freedom and victory, right?
Exactly, and the Vajra symbolized strength. Well, with that, please invite our State Senator Jamie Eldridge to share a few words.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here at the 5th annual celebration of the flag raising to celebrate India's independence. And I just want to thank Adya Goel and Dia Prakash for emceeing today's event. Know both sets of their parents very well, and both the Goels and the Prakashes are really perfect examples of how the Indian American community is giving back in every community in Massachusetts. So really appreciate the parents' work, and obviously the apple didn't fall far from the tree with both of your works in schools and here today. I also want to thank IAGB President Tanu Phoenix, who I've gotten to know very well, and want to recognize her for her leadership with IAGB, and great to meet her colleagues and fellow officers. And great to be here with Representative Cataldo and Acton municipal officials. I first just want to start and thank Sahana Purwood, who I knew has been recognized. I want to recognize her because she's shown in the past few years leadership in a number of local efforts, serving as the new chair of the Acton Democratic Town Committee, a commissioner for the Acton Housing Authority, and previously for many years serving on the Finance Committee for the town of Acton. So Sahana, thank you so much for your contributions, and of course, thank you for organizing this year's event as always. Really appreciate your friendship. The road to independence for India was a long and arduous journey that lasted nearly 100 years. The country's independence movement was met with unforgiving brutality from the British. However, the India independence movement remained committed to a nonviolent platform, of course, inspired and led by Mahatma Gandhi. On a day like today, it's important to honor these trials and these efforts that the Indian people endured, but ultimately strove through and emerged victorious, standing as a beacon to the world of the Indian people's power and the triumph of nonviolence over oppression. India's independence is more than a key moment in India's history, but it went on to influence the fight for civil rights of all people across the world, including, of course, Dr. Martin Luther King, who was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi to lead his effort in the 1950s and 1960s, the American Civil Rights Movement. As a society, especially in the U.S., we are forever indebted to the Indian people's example of strength, courage, and nobility through the taking back of their independence. So today we come together, raising India's flag, to celebrate India's freedom, but also to pay our gratitude to the strength and accomplishments of the growing Indian American community that has been part of the bedrock of our country for decades, in both the arts, sciences, and now politics. Including astronauts like Sunita Williams and Kalpana Chao, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, Sunrise Movement co-founder and Acton Boxborough grad Varshini Prakash, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal and Congressman Ro Khanna. And I've heard a few rumors that we might just elect the first Indian American president of the United States of America. And so we meet here today not only to pay homage to the Indian independence movement of the past, but to show our gratitude to the growing Indian community here in Acton and every community across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I am extremely proud to represent one of the largest Indian American communities in my Senate district across Massachusetts. Because of this, I'm honored to have the privilege a little bit later to raise the Indian flag above Town Hall, and I'm so honored to stand here with you and represent all of you. Thank you so much, and happy Independence Day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for those commendable words, Senator J.B. Eldridge. Also, did you know that the flag that Sister Nivedita designed wasn't even the first national flag of India?
What flag was it?
The first flag of India consisted of 3 colors, green, yellow, and red. Unlike the current flag of India, which has these colors. Who can shout it out in the next 5 seconds? Green, 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 green. Yes! Oh. Sorry for that. Yes, so the current colors were different from the colors that we had a long time ago.
Oh, that's actually crazy. I had no idea.
I know, right?
Well, we'd like to follow up with another fun fact. Did you know that until 2004, it was illegal for Indian citizens to hoist up the Indian flag except on special occasions?
Wow, really? I remember my mom said that her family's house in Delhi, India, they could only hoist the flag on Independence Day and Republic Day.
That was the case for families all over the country. It took Naveen Jindal over a decade to battle with the Supreme Court to make this legal. After this, it became a legal right for Indian citizens to fly the national flag freely. Now we would like to call up our state representative, Simon Cataldo.
How about our moderators? Great job, huh? You're doing a really great job. Thank you. And I'm learning a lot. I want to first thank IAGB. You're doing an incredible job. Thank you. Thank you to Sahana. I know how much work you put into this. There you are. I texted Sahana last night with a question about this event at about 8:30 p.m. She was still working. She was trying to figure out how to get tents for everybody, thinking that it was going to rain, but here we are. So, Tanu, thank you for ordering up the good weather for us. And thank you for being here. Thank you both to the members of the Indian American community who are here. Thank you to the Actonians who are not part of the Indian American community who are here to show solidarity. I know there are quite a few of you, but in particular, Dean Charter and Fran Arsenault from the Select Board, and hopefully I got everybody are here today, so thank you. I want to start with something a little bit personal that happened in the recent past that I wanted to mention at this event because it speaks to the Indian values that Tanu was just talking about. October 7th of 2023 was a hard time, continues to be a hard time for many members of our Jewish community in Acton and everywhere in the world. And shortly after that event, not actually in response to October 7th, but in response to some anti-Semitic incidents that have been happening in the Acton Boxborough school system. The community, a number of organizations, the ADL and others, organized a big march. A walk against hate is how it was captioned. And I gave the closing remarks during that event. I'm Jewish, and it was Indian Americans more than any other group that were right at the front, enthusiastically and in great number. This was not expected, but it was also not a surprise, because anybody who knows, is friends with, works with our Indian American community knows that they know that we're all in this together. And that speaks to Indian Americans' commitment to diversity, to being a welcoming place where everybody can thrive. And for that, I want to thank you. It's often said that we live in a pluralistic society here in the United States, but different people mean different things when they say that. And I want to tell you what it means to me, because I think that that term and that concept bears special resonance for our purpose being here today. To me, a pluralistic society and a pluralistic America is one that welcomes people from all backgrounds and also creates the conditions for the individuals and the groups who are able to contribute the most to America to thrive. And I think that it is a testament to our pluralistic society in the United States that Indian Americans have thrived and have contributed so much to our local and national communities in every possible respect, in academia, in civics, in science, in entrepreneurship, business, and trade. That is something that we must embrace, and that's something that should be recognized and celebrated. So thank you for that too. We're here celebrating India's Independence Day. As was mentioned, India is the largest democracy in the world and arrived at that place through nonviolent resistance. Next year, we will celebrate America's 250th anniversary, making it the oldest democracy in the world. And during the overlapping time period in which India and the United States have been democracies, we have formed perhaps the most consequential allyship in the entire world in terms of trade, space exploration, climate technology, and anything else that one can think of. And when I think about the relationship between our democracies, I can't help but think back to about 249 years ago, when Isaac Davis and Abner Hosmer took their Minutemen down to Concord. And they did that knowing that they were risking their lives. And in fact, they were offered the opportunity by Isaac Davis when they arrived at Barracks Mill Farm to turn around. They were all offered that opportunity, and not one of them did. And Isaac Davis died at the Old North Bridge. But they were fighting for something that is so relevant to this event. It was the concept of natural rights. It was the idea that government wasn't something that just gave you rights or took them away, like as was the case with the English crown, but that government was something that only existed through the consent of the people. And no matter where you were born, no matter what you look like, no matter who your parents were, in their idea of the United States, you could reach your full potential and the government could not stop you. And in my view, that is what has made the conditions for so much success for the Indian American community, which is again something to celebrate, and I am so proud of what the Indian American community has done. There are 14 of these flag raisings across Massachusetts. 2 of them are in the 14th Middlesex District, and thanks to some brave members of the Concord community, we're going to have a proclamation in Concord next week. So I'm going to call that 3 out of 14. So, in closing, and it was mentioned, we do have an election coming up, and no matter who you vote for, a Republican or a Democrat, you will be voting to put an Indian American in the White House, either as the spouse of the vice president or as the president herself. And that is something to be embraced. I urge you to continue because I know you're already doing it, to engage in that solemn obligation of voting in every aspect of our civic life, in our community and nationwide, not just because I want your contributions, not just because I know we'll benefit from your contributions, but because America needs the contribution of the Indian American community here and everywhere. Thank you so much. I support you and I thank you.
Thank you so much for those words, Representative Cataldo. So, Adia, I found that when Jindal won this battle of hoisting the Indian flag, the right to fly the flag was actually instated into the Indian Constitution.
Wow, really?
Yup. Now Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution states that the right to fly the national flag freely is a fundamental right of an Indian citizen.
That's actually so interesting. I guess you really do learn something new every day. Next up is our Select Board Chair, Fran Arsenault.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Acton Select Board, it's wonderful to gather here this morning to commemorate a momentous occasion in the history of India. It's Independence Day. It is a day to celebrate the spirit of freedom, unity, and diversity. While we are thousands of miles away from the bustling streets of India, locally our hearts are filled with pride and admiration for the rich cultural tapestry, the unwavering resilience, and the incredible progress India has made. This flag-raising ceremony is just one small gesture that illustrates our respect and solidarity with our Indian Actonians. It is also a larger symbol of the enduring bond between our two nations. Let us take a moment to honor the sacrifices of those who fought for India's independence. Their courage and determination continue to inspire generations. And as we go on with our busy lives, let us remember to take the time to reflect and recommit ourselves to fostering understanding, cooperation, and friendship within our own community, which includes embracing our cultural differences and to continue to learn from one another. Long live India. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran, and everyone else for all these kind remarks, helping us remember this historic moment.
From here, I would like to call up Devika Sonavain, a rising 8th grader at R.J. Gray Middle School, to sing the U.S. National Anthem. Give it up. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Thank you very much, Devika Sonavain. That was a wonderful song. You did a wonderful display of our history. We would now like to invite Vaishnavi Kodali,
Kiran Mai Kodali,
Bagarvi Desai,
Marai Manchanda,
Saiba Jetli,
Kushi Mehta,
and their teacher, Vaishnavi Kondapalli, to sing the Indian National Anthem.
So who's getting which mic? Saiba, you're getting this mic, remember? And these two are coming in this mic. Sure. Yes, of course.
should we?
It's ready.
We would also like to invite Senator Jamie Eldridge to raise the Indian flag after the Indian anthem.
Before the anthem.
Before the anthem?
That's the flag protocol.
Oh, before the anthem, actually. Wow, wasn't that just so great? We would now like to talk about our Indian flag. Our current Indian flag was designed by Bengali Venkai in 1921. It was a tricolor flag with saffron, white, and green, with a spinning wheel at the center. The flag was adopted on July 22nd, 1947.
The wheel represented Gandhi's goals of making India self-reliant by fabricating their own clothing. The saffron originally represented Hindus, the green represented Muslims, and the white represented other religious communities.
Later on, however, these meanings changed. The saffron now represents strength, courage, and sacrifice. The white represents peace and truth, and the green represents faith and chivalry, along with fertility and auspiciousness of the land.
The wheel was also replaced by the Ashoka Chakra, representing the eternal wheel of law.
Now please welcome Select Board Vice Chair Dean Charter to read the proclamation.
This is the fifth year in a row that the Acton Select Board has voted to declare an India Day in recognition of our wonderful Indian American community. Here's the proclamation. Whereas India is the largest free democratic country in the world, her beauty and rich cultural heritage are unmatched, and whereas the Indian independence movement was led by patriots like Mahatma Gandhi, Subhas Chandra Bose, Bhagat Singh, Pandit Nehru, Veerapanda Kattabomman, Rani Lakshmi Bai, B.R. Ambedkar, Chandrasekhar Azad, Bal Ganga Tilak, Mangal Pandey, Sardar Patel, Lala Lajpat Rai, C.R. Das, Maulana Azad, Raja Golapari, Rani Galindu later became a model of civil rights movement around the globe, including the movement led by Martin Luther King Jr. of the USA. And whereas after generations of subjugation under British rule and a long campaign of nonviolent protest led by Mahatma Gandhi, the 1947 Indian Independence Act ushered in a new age of freedom for the people of India. And whereas on August 15, 1947, India gained her independence from 200 years of colonial rule with peaceful civil disobedience and nonviolence. That movement in turn became a new weapon to fight against inequality and injustice in the world. And whereas the Constituent Assembly of India created the most democratic constitution of its own, taking clues from the British, American, and French constitutions, and whereas in 1950, India became a republic and adopted a pluralistic and democratic constitution that gave equal rights to all citizens regardless of faith and other identity markers, and whereas India's constitution guaranteed there will be no discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, color, or sex, and whereas India has shown an unsurpassed growth in education, health, agriculture, and technology since its independence 77 years ago, and whereas India's Independence Day is celebrated by over 1.4 billion people across the country with flag hoisting ceremonies, kite rising, and parades, and whereas 29 million Indians residing outside India and overseas Indians comprising the world's largest overseas diaspora, and whereas with a population of more than 4.9 million in the U.S., Indian Americans make up approximately 1.35% of the U.S. population and are the largest group of South Asian Americans, the largest Asian alone group forming the second largest immigrant group in the United States, who contribute greatly to the social, economic, and civic health of the nation. And whereas India is a composite civilization, a nation extraordinarily unique as a cultural mosaic of people embracing a prodigious diversity of ethnic groups, religions, languages, customs, traditions, clothing, manners, food habits, climatic conditions, and natural resources, and yet presenting an underlying unity. And whereas this year India will proudly mark its 78th Independence Day on the 15th of August, honoring 77 years of our treasured freedom, a nation proud of our heritage, including giving the world the numeral 0, and we, the Select Board, do hereby proclaim the 15th of August 2024 to be India Day, and encourage all residents of Acton to join the Select Board in raising the flags of India in the United States at the Town Common to heartily celebrate India. Thank you.
Please don't go yet. I would need Chief Fran and Chair Fran and Vice Chair Dean back here with us. Can I just tell you, truth be told, Acton is my most favorite out of all the towns that we have done flag hoisting. And that's a real, true, absolute truth. And I'll tell you why. I've done it in over 60 towns over the last 5 years. Today is the year 5 that we are doing it here. One small reason. I write the proclamation every year. Every year I write it from scratch because there is new data, more Indian Americans being added to the mosaic of the US and across the world. So when I write the proclamation and send it to the towns 2 to 3 months back, prior to the program, the expectation is that each town will make it their own and tweak it. Many towns shorten it. Many towns take some of the difficult names out, and fairly so, because it's difficult to pronounce Bal Gangadhar Tilak or Mangal Pandey and many others. But kudos to the Acton town that I was listening to Dean read it, and I was like, wow, he did not edit the proclamation at all. So that deserves a huge round of applause because that is the true essence. I write a lot, so I get carried away when I write the proclamation because I want to put all the good things about India in one. And I cannot tell you how grateful I am that you guys kept it almost intact. So thank you for that. I want to take this opportunity to commemorate and celebrate the town of Acton by presenting a small token of appreciation to the town of Acton on behalf of not just IAGB, but on behalf of the Indian Americans of Acton and Indian Americans of New England. I would like my team to be here with me as well as I present this on behalf of IAGB and, as I said, the entire Indian American community. Before presenting it to you, I want to read the contents. India Association of Greater Boston presents the Community Alchemist Award to the town of Acton for being an anchor town for the India flag raising event hosted by IAGB, presented in August 2024. Absolute pleasure and so grateful for your support, Fran and Dean. Thank you. Over to you, wonderful young ladies. Thank you. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you for those wonderful words and memory of our history.
It really was super great. Did you know that the first Indian national flag was hosted on August 7th in 1906?
That sounds correct. It was raised in the Parsi Bagan Square, also known as the Green Park in Kolkata.
Exactly. Our current Indian flag was first raised by Nehruji in the Red Fort on August 16, 1947, the day after India gained its independence. We would now like to invite Public Defender Mara Dolan, candidate for Governor's Council, District 3.
Thank you all so much. I'm Mara Dolan. That is the first time that I ever heard the Indian National Anthem performed live. And I just want to say, what a beautiful performance. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank Sahana, though I know she's tired of being thanked. She did invite me to join you today. And I'm so honored to be here today to help celebrate Indian independence. I'm Mara Dolan. I am a public defender. I represent people who can't afford to hire an attorney. And that's why I'm running for governor's counselor, because the governor's council confirms our judges, parole board members, and commutations and pardons. And we need the perspective of the first public defender on the governor's council. There is an incredibly important election in November, but there is also the state primary on September 3rd. Go there. Vote for Senator Jamie Eldridge, Representative Cataldo, Representative Senna, and hopefully vote for me, Mara Dolan. Thank you so much for having me, and what a beautiful community. I really am honored. Thank you.
Thank you for those kind words. Before we end it off, we would like to play a patriotic song from the same talented young singers who brought you the Indian anthem.
So the kids are going to sing a shloka from Rig Veda. This is basically written in Sanskrit, a very ancient language. The meaning of it is as follows. Let us all sing together today in unity, and let us work together in harmony.
Thank you once again to these amazing singers for their amazing performance. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. We would like to thank everyone for joining us in celebrating this event.
And we would also like to thank everyone who came here and spoke and sang for us on this historic day.
Before we go, a special thanks to Acton Select Board and state legislators for being here today. We'd also like to thank Chuck Arbokisum for helping with the sound system and Vera Mogan ActonTV. We hope to see you next time. I'm Adia.
And I'm Dia, your MCs for the 2024 Indian Flag Raising Ceremony.